What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Progressive Action TV show. I am your host, Tramel Thompson, and today I want to discuss with you guys a situation I've been dealing with for the past few weeks regarding MTA Chairman Janno Lieber. Now, I know you guys see the cover of this show, says the MTA Chairman slashed out Karen. The reason I chose that title was because it rhymed, Chairman Karen. It was close. That was one aspect. And the second reason is to highlight the whole Karen situation. Actually, when it comes to males doing this type of behavior, it's called Ken, but I like Chairman Karen, or whatever the case is. But I want to explain to you guys what Janno Lieber did, how he misused MTA funds, and how he potentially tried to get a coworker seriously hurt, possibly killed, knowing the relations between black men and the police in this country. And the black man I'm talking about is myself. So this is a situation regarding me and what I've been going through and how I fear for my safety when it comes to Janno Lieber, because I found out something that he did that I wasn't supposed to know. And I just can't imagine the other situations that's going on that I do not know about. So I want to touch on an article that I found explaining, what is a Karen, and I want to show you guys the relation to a Karen and Janno Lieber and the behavior of people like him. So I found this article in The Guardian in 2020. It says the year of the Karen, how a meme changed the way Americans talked about racism. Now, within that article, Williams defined a Karen as a white woman surveilling and patrolling black people in public spaces and calling the police on them for random non-illegal infractions. Now, that's the key, right? Forget about the name Karen. Karen, Kim, Bob, Janno, don't matter. It's the act of, white people surveilling and controlling black people in public spaces for non-illegal infractions. And also within that article, you could read, it says, in the past, black bodies were controlled in public spaces by threats of violence, lynching, and routine targeted racialized terror that dictated who black people could speak to, where they were allowed to live, and which spaces they would be able to exist, right? Now, what I got underlined is very important. Presently, the routine act of calling the police on black people in public spaces extends this historical practice of regulating black bodies to maintain white supremacist order. And that's what I want to focus on. That aspect of it, of controlling where black people can be for non-illegal infractions. Now, to bring you guys up to speed, I had a rally back in May in front of Janno Lieber home, rallying about safety on the subways between workers and riders, how the MTA treat their employees, because I don't think people actually know how the MTA treat us, especially injured or ill employees when it comes to workers' comp. And that's and not even talking about how they treat pregnant women on this job. And I just want to give you guys a quick demographic fact. Most of the women, black women on this job, are black women. There's 1% white women on this job, just 1%. The rest are black and Hispanic, right? And I'm going to stop using that word minorities because we are nobody minority, right? So what Janno Lieber did after I had the peaceful rally, may I add, I had police there already because I already know what type of caliber he possibly was capable of. And I was actually correct. So I'm happy that I had police there. I had about 6 police officers there in front of his home, possibly more. And they witnessed everything from start to end, right? So After that peaceful rally, Janno Lieber, a few days after that, Janno Lieber went to the precinct to basically try to get his home classified under this term called a sensitive location. Now, sensitive locations are mostly churches, synagogues, and sometimes some people homes, depending on who they are. You would definitely see sensitive locations in front of judges' homes, you know, because judges get threats. So they would have that sensitive location title in front of their home. And what usually happens is that these locations, when they called into 911, there will be an immediate response by police because it's classified as a sensitive location. Sensitive locations, police cars will go through those blocks more, patrolling them, or a police car will simply be in front of their home. So Janno Lieber sent MTA police, let me get their names, make sure I got it right, Edward Maggette and Henry Mysick, MTA detectives. Those two MTA detectives. Those MTA detectives are also Janno Lieber's executive security. They are MTA police, MTA detectives. They are also his executive security, executive protection. Now, Janno Lieber sent them to the precinct to try to get his home classified as a sensitive location. Now, I've been saying this for years. I know plenty of people in NYPD. I know people in FBI. I know people in all forms of government, right? And I speak to them. I pick their brains, and so I know what sensitive location is. I know what happens during these situations. Now, in this situation, Janno Lieber knew in order for his home to be classified as a sensitive location, he had to deem me as a threat. And they did just that. They went in there talking about my personal medical history. They went in there trying to seem like I am a threatening, unstable individual and I'm capable of anything. And I may harm either him or his wife, right? His family. And that's very dangerous. Going to the precinct, making a false claim against a black man. Essentially, that's what it comes down to. Janno Lieber is well aware of the relations in America, forget about New York, between black men and the police. You going into the precinct, classifying me all as a negative, unstable, threatening individual. And I won't say that you did it, but I say that you did it because the MTA detectives are not going to act alone to do this right here. They were sent to do that. And the only person that can send them to do that is Janno Lieber, right? Janno Lieber's executive protection is not his personal Kevin Costner private security, right? The MTA police are paid through tax dollars, right? So what Janno Lieber essentially did, besides put me in danger, right, was that he misused public funds. We seen the big uproar when de Blasio used the police to help I believe his daughter move out of Gracie Mansion. There's no difference here, right? The MTA police is not Janno Lieber's personal police. Janno Lieber, as a citizen, had the right to go to that precinct and file whatever type of complaint he wanted to or try to, right? But he used the MTA police, right? Now, I could just imagine, right, how much other things Janno Lieber is doing to put me at danger with a false pretense or false allegations to try to paint a negative picture of me based on my medical status currently, based on how he viewed black men who decide to fight, non-illegal too, right? I'm an activist. I'm an activist. And part of my activism work is going out there and fighting for what's right, especially when I was the victim of something that I was fighting for because the MTA failed to protect their workforce on all levels. It's basically past the buck. And one of the reasons I went to Janno Lieber home is to show him that we're not comfortable at work. When you at work, you're comfortable, right? And in order to make some people uncomfortable, you have to meet them at their doorstep. They do the same thing to us. They sent the Dan to my house while I was out on comp. They could have waited till I came back, right? So, and they do multiple other things. They send investigators. They had investigators follow me illegally. I won't even say illegally, but in retaliation to my activism work, because everything they ever put on me, I beat right in front of a judge. But this last move that Janno Lieber did, um, I am in fear. Now I'm not afraid of anything, right? But if you're willing to go to the police and create a hostile work environment for me, because me and Janno Lieber, we share the same precinct. We live in the same precinct. If you're willing to create a hostile, not only work environment for me, but living environment for me, and you did all of that, you sent Henry and Edward there thinking I wouldn't find out. Just imagine what else that you're doing behind the scenes that I don't know about. How else are you trying to get me hurt out here living my life? Because I wouldn't have known about that. I would not have known what you have done, because this is how you guys move. And this is why the title of the show is calling you a Karen, because I did nothing illegal, but you went to the precinct and tried to create this false narrative of Tremel Thompson, which could have potentially put me in danger in my own community by painting someone as being crazy or suffering from PTSD, according to you guys, or on Medicaid, whatever you guys went down there, whatever the narrative was at that time. Because you can't ask for a sensitive location and say, hey, this is a great guy. I know what comes with trying to get a place, a sensitive location. I've been dealing with this for a long time. I'm not new to this, right? Now, my issue is now what else he has done. See, he can't control that NYPD situation, but he can control the MTA situation. And it kind of feel like I may be in danger at work, because if he went out of his way to do that, what else is he capable of doing? Right? So that's something for me to seriously think about and consider my safety, because I don't trust him. And never in my life, I thought Janno Lieber was a great guy. I never painted him as a white supremacist or someone who would put a black man in danger with NYPD. Never would I have thought that about Janno Lieber, but it shows me you cannot underestimate people and what they will or will not do, because his intention was a duality in his intention. In order to get your home classified as a sensitive location, you had to paint a negative picture on me. And that's what you had your MTA detectives do, right? And it's a violation of the MTA code of ethics, the way you use the MTA police. It's a violation of the public officers law, how you use the police. And something needs to be done about that. This needs to be thoroughly investigated, because at the least, we will find out that you sent the police there. Oh, they can't back out of that one. I have proof of that myself. So I mean, this is a crazy situation. Now, another thing, a lot of managers think that, I'm against them, and that's not true. I'm gonna tell you this: if you are doing bad by the members, absolutely you're gonna have a problem with Tremel Thompson and Progressive Action. If you treating your coworkers like trash, treating us as just a number, no compassion, no empathy, and just straight targeting workers, yes, you're gonna have an issue with Tremel Thompson and Progressive Action. If you're doing the right thing, we on the same team. In fact, a lot of the information that I get is from managers. Not all managers hate me or is against me. There's managers here that's ready to put their career on the line to seek the change that we really need. And there is a divide here between the blacks and the whites when it comes to upper management. And I want to say this too, because usually when you call a white person a racist, they do the first thing that they could do to show that they're not racist. Hey, look, I put this person in position. I put that person in position. Let me tell you what white racist men tend to do, um, historically and currently, right? So let's say Janno Lieber say, I'm not racist. I hired a black woman. See, that's normally their angle when it comes to showing people that they're not racist. They will hire a black woman because black women knock out two boxes. They black and they all are a woman. Now, historically, slave masters loved black women. We heard of the stories of what they have done to black women. We got the research. So a white man putting a black woman in position says absolutely nothing when it comes to their racism. In fact, it shows me how they want to cover up their racism even more if that is their first move. One thing they tend to stay away from is a strong black man, right? If you look at the black men that's around racists, they are normally yes men, go along to get along. They are not strong black men, at least not vocally. They may be in their homes and things of that nature, but when it comes to speaking out against white supremacist behavior, they won't do that. And I'm particularly disappointed in Detective Edward McGett. You as a black man should know the implications of creating a negative picture of a black man to the police. But you just went along with it because at the end of the day, y'all didn't expect me to find out what happened. Just like y'all don't expect me to find out what happens in the MTA. You definitely wasn't expecting for me to find out what happens in NYPD or with NYPD, right? Because you guys got this negative picture of me that I am a rebel, I'm anti-police, I'm anti-rules. I'm actually not. I stand on principles and righteousness. But you guys dropped the ball big time. And I want to just make sure that you guys are held accountable for your actions. And I think that it was very important for me to tell the people what Janno Lieber is doing and how he is the MTA Karen. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.